G'day everyone and welcome back. If you saw the first part of my 260E project car video, which I'll link up here, you will know that I managed to get this car down from Newcastle and had an inspection with Cam over at CMR. The outcome of that inspection wasn't too bad, but there was some stuff that needed doing. I had to have a service done. We had to replace one of the tie rods, then had to have a wheel alignment. There was a water pump leak, so it needed a new water pump and thermostat, brake system flush, basically, and a complete full service just to get everything, back to where it should be. So that cost me, I can't even bear to tell you, but it started with a 3 and it had 4 figures, and so that immediately put me over budget for the whole project. But anyway, at least I thought it would drive and be reliable. How wrong can you get? So we pick up the story as I collect the car from CMR after all this work has been done. Oh my God. First drive in the 260E, and I'm nervous. I never enjoy this kind of stuff because it's always so stressful. I should enjoy it. I'm always worried though. I'm always worried it's going to break, it's going to cost me more money. Oh man. Oh geez, what have I done? What have I done? Oh my God. I can already see stuff that's wrong with it, which is going to need fixing, which is going to be a pain. I'm going to have to take the dash out to fix the heater controls, which are not working. The air conditioning works, but it doesn't. But it's blowing hot air out of one of the vents, so that'll have to be fixed. It drives fine. It drives really nicely. It's got plenty of poke. Everything works. No lights on the dashboard. Drives really nicely. But yeah, there's a lot of fiddly stuff that needs to be done. It's a project. I'm not going to be able to flip it quickly. That's certainly the case. But the dash is in really nice condition. Everything's really nice cosmetically. Got to fix the sunroof. Got to fix the heater controls. I've got to do some cosmetic paint work, but mechanically it drives really nicely. So the final little bit of this video is just, I'd had the car for a few days and I just talked through some of the things that need to be done to the car, things that I'd discovered that needed to be done in the few days that I'd had it. So I've had the car a few days now, picked it up on Friday, it's now Sunday, driven it a bit, and I've had a chance to kind of work out what's wrong. And I thought I'll just go through these things quickly and tell you what my plans are going to be for this car. The fuel gauge is erratic and irregular. Again, I've done some research on this, and it's probably the fuel sender in the fuel tank. And what we can do is we can take that out and clean it, and if necessary replace it, but let's see if we can clean it and get it working. The next thing that's not working is the original Becker radio, which I'd like to keep because it is pretty special to have the original one there. So I found a guy in Alexandria who does reconditioning and refurbishment of these old units. So what I'm going to do is try and get this one working again. I've managed to take it out. It wasn't too difficult to take out, but I'd love to get the original one back in there. So under the hood, the main problem is this little thing here, which is the duo valve, which controls the heat to the interior, the cabin heating. So that is not working properly. I've actually taken it apart. I've actually taken the plug off here because it's not doing anything. Fortunately, we do have the right signals at the plug, so it's just these relays and valves that have failed. Common again, so that's a simple job. I'm going to do that, replacing those that duo valve. Just noticed actually we're missing a bit of the air intake that joins that onto that. It's a bit low on power, so I'm thinking there may be some work we can do just to release a bit more power from this old engine. They're pretty reliable, so shouldn't be anything major wrong with it, touch wood. The other two things that need doing are in the boot, and they're behind this panel here. One of them is the electric aerial, which needs replacing. That's completely shot, as you can see, and it's been broken off anyway. So that's where the electric aerial motor is, and then also in there, behind there, I don't know if you can see right in there, that little white thing is part of the sunroof motor, which is also not working properly. And the sunroof, as you can see, it's slightly sunk down here. So the sunroof needs to be fixed. It's probably just the motor, the gear that's broken here. So I've got another motor on order, and hopefully once we replace that, that will fix the sunroof problem. So that's just a summary of the things that need doing, just to get it into working order. I haven't tried the headrests yet. I'm too scared to try those in case they don't work as well. They probably won't. And then the next stage is we'll look at tidying up the paint work and the body work, but that's for a later date. So I've got the duo valve on order, and I've got the sunroof motor on order. So they'll be coming towards the end of December, and then I'll get a motor for that, for the aerial, and then eventually we'll get the radio fixed. So we're going to do it in stages, you know, over a period of a few months, just kind of gradually bring it up to scratch. Well, thanks very much for watching part 2 of the project car from hell, the 260e. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll stick with me for future episodes in this saga. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye for now.